Come out to the bar.
Hello, YouTube. Cheers and welcome to the basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
Oh, you got you a little something today, too,
Well,
huh?
you're not the only one that could toast it up.
That's what's up. We'll toast then, man. Nigga, toast.
I'm gonna toast it too sometimes, man.
The Basement Debates is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we tackle the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. And today, Basement Family, since we last spoke, Tekashi69 got pistol whipped,
Let's get to it.
robbed, kidnapped,
Treyway.
hospitalized.
Let's get to it.
Is it over for Tekashi? That's the question. We're about to answer it right now. Today's debate. With that being said, Lego. Is it over for Tekashi? What do you say? Treyway?
Listen, and all y'all non-trade gangsters out there, I don't want no problems with y'all niggas, man. I don't want no problems.
Now, I think it's obvious that what we're talking about is something different, boy.
But it is, you gotta admit it is. I don't care if you're a non-trade gangster or not, you gotta admit it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. We just being real on this show. It's kind of funny. The question today is it over for him?
Is it over for him?
I think that's interesting, for the sense of, he kind of aligned, a few months ago, you saw 50 aligning himself with him. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I saw 50 aligning himself with him, and now it's funny because, right as he's at the height, or maybe you could say at the pinnacle where he was about to go, or where he's going, or whatever, this happens to him, which in similar fashion, right, I think before 50 signed to Slim, to Shady, he had got gunned down and shot in the face or whatever. So just pointing out the similarities. But getting back to the question, is it over for Tekashi? And I'm sure Bruce has a lot to shed on this whole topic here. I don't think so. I don't think so, and I strongly don't think so, for the simple fact of, one, it may work in his favor, oddly enough. His brand has been controversy. His brand has been dramatics. His brand has been antics. His brand has been gangster this and gangster that. Well, even though he's on the victim side, as 50 was, it was some gangster shit that happened to him. Not only that, which we didn't know, and I'm thinking that the video shoot that he wrapped up prior to this happening to him was the video that everybody's talking about, that he was talking about, the Fifi joint with Nicki Minaj. So
it was coming out in 20 minutes.
So there you have it. Like, this guy, only Tekashi has something like this happen to him where the news is forced. Like, if it not that we wouldn't have paid attention to the video with him and Nicki Minaj anyway, but now, all eyes on Tekashi again. So it is so eerie to the point that people thought that he did it himself. Like, people thought he set this publicity stunt himself. Like, oh, you got the video Fifi coming out. You want us to pay attention, so you go and set this up. Like, that's like, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I won't hold y'all. Like, when people say he bought this onto himself, I have to disagree. I mean, I have to agree with that. Like, because, something like this happens, and it may have just been the karma or energy finally coming back to him, but now it happens, and people are even skeptical that it's real. People thinking it's more publicity stunt for your new video than you being a victim of a robbery and a pistol whipping. So, I mean, it's crazy. And like I said, if you can take anything from this, is the energy that you put out, expect for it to come back to you tenfold.
The one thing that we talked about when speaking about Tekashi and how he came on our debate radar, because we didn't do an album review. We didn't review his music. We was talking about why couldn't you come to Summer Jam? Why Ebro doesn't want you there? And we were saying things like, I said, because 1 + 1 always equals 2. When a man is continuously, always begging for the violence, it's only a matter of time before it comes back to you, and it's not something that Ebro wanted to happen at that time, at Summer Jam, after just shutting down Summer Jam because of violence 2 years before. Everybody was wondering, oh, well, he was hating. No, the truth is, when you add it all up, only somebody who doesn't know how to add would think that this wasn't gonna happen. Granted, it didn't happen from Chicago people when he went there and spit on their turf and laughed at their gangs and disrespected their baby moms and has duck sick in the cabs in Chicago and stomped all over their territory. Granted, it didn't happen when he didn't check in LA. It didn't really go down like that when he disrespected his own gangs and his own people and plus other gangs and other people's territory. Granted, it didn't happen when he was on Instagram every day talking about every other gangster, every single other gang, every single other things that people hold dear for whatever reason. Granted, it didn't happen by then. But 1 + 1 adds 2, and God dog it, I know for a fact, just to how he moves, that even if he acts like that with such disrespect to everybody and everything, it's only a matter of time that he does that even to his own people, even to his own family, even to his own friends. It's only a matter of time when your people say, show me who you are. When you're on Instagram every day showing every aspect of your life is just being a troll, just being someone who cares about himself and continues to get more and more arrogant, of course this is coming next. Of course you got people who hate you in your own city.
Is it over for him?
Now, I just had to say that. Unfortunately, the other half of this is when you say it's over for him, and this is where it's going to get serious, kids. Listen, kids, listen up. Listen up. Is it over for him? You might be thinking musically, and I'm going to say, I probably agree with you because we're sick enough in this generation, in this hip hop. Honestly, it's not just now, this generation. We're sick enough as a people who've been put on the back burner and brainwashed and in poverty for so long that this will actually help his career. But is it over for him personally, the man? It wasn't over for him when he got beat up. It wasn't over for him when he got hospitalized. It's over for him when he went back and starts yelling Treyway again. There's nothing left. His daughter and his wife are asking for respect and asking to not get trolled and asking for a little bit of privacy. You're not gonna get it because this guy will not stop. His arrogance will grow back. And he cannot leave the fake little gang that he has. You don't want me to call it fake? Fine. You're gonna shoot me in the street? That's what's up. That's what's up. Because the truth is, I'm trying to help these kids realize it means nothing. It's not like you have a history that went back 50 years that was trying to keep their city away from the white folks trying to infiltrate. You made up a name, Treyway, and you believed in it until you didn't. Until you wanted to call it a label, and you don't want it to be associated with the gang anymore. Now, those people are probably who come back and hit you. And if it's not that, it's something else. We can't be making up names and acting like it means more than our lives. Because now, guess what? Now that you got beat up, beat down, hospitalized, and you come back out limping, you cannot say, well, you know what? I decided to change my ways. I realized after this incident that my family comes first, and I don't want to be a part of this anymore because now it's blood in or blood out. Now they're looking for that next 30,000 bump your kid and your wife. That's why they was pushing you in the forefront for this whole past 2 years to be the stupidest, most ignorant, most belligerent, most disrespectful person you could be. Because now when you come back after that beating, you cannot just say, I changed my ways. Treyway ain't gonna let you. Kids, find some friends. Find something that you're into. I know it's hard in the hood and you need some protection maybe. I know in Chicago, that's why I did it. That's why I did it. Because it's where I grew up and you felt like it was a part of something. Luckily, I also had a family. A lot of the people who did it, they didn't. And so that became their family. But even since then, I'm gonna tell you, it's false. It was a lie. Because if you didn't make the quotas, you still got the pumpkin. You realize that half of the stuff that the gangs is telling you that make you feel included, you only feel that way because your father's not there. And that hurts. Don't let them prey on you anymore. Because now Tekashi, it's over. His life is in a bind. And what he's gonna have to do to get out of that bind is gonna cause mental trauma. Social trauma with his family and his daughter. If he ever does have the ability to get out. They got him from a young age. They got him out here on this Instagram and this false crap TV, this internet, disrespecting everybody who matters around the world. Even if he gets out, you can't go back to Chicago because you pissed on it. You can't go back to LA because you pissed on it. You can't go back to Houston because you pissed on it. It's over, life-wise. You can make all the money in the world and you're gonna have to stay in one space. And every time you go anywhere else, you're gonna need bodyguards. And if you ever try to leave this and make a better way for your daughter and your family and your baby moms or whatever it is, you lost. Kids, don't let this happen to you.
Thought that was a good soliloquy, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Let me get one of my own. And I'm gonna draw some comparisons and similarities from two other Brooklyn MCs. It's funny. Anybody who knows New York and historically, Brooklyn is usually the borough that you see a lot of activities as far as the streets are concerned, and it's been that way for eons. So I'm gonna pull two other Brooklyn MCs that, in almost a similar or the same fashion, it's almost as if the same thing that propelled you to where, superstardom and money to afford you and your family to be out the hood and out of the certain predicaments and out of, certain background that you may come from, is almost the same thing that can pull you, back in and you lose everything and, you make it to a certain level and then, and I say that in thinking of Bobby Shmurda and Troy Ave that just happened. Two Brooklyn MCs. Obviously we know what happened to Shmurda and his whole gang. Indictments were handed down, arrests were made, convictions were executed. He's in prison now, him and Rowdy and half the gang. Troy Ave was another interesting one because it wasn't so much of, well, I will say that you do bring these things on yourself, and Bruce is always like, again, as I said at the top of the show, you have to be careful. People laugh at the Nas's and even Jay-Z, like, cause he's cool, he's laid back. He'd rather not engage in controversy. He'd rather not, go to the streets and act a fool and be caught out there. Like, and people laugh and shun these type of things and shun that type of behavior as if, he don't get busy or he's not from Queensbridge Projects or he's not, And I say all that to say, like, you look at the Shmurda thing, that was plain as, these dudes, you could feel it, you could hear it, you can smell it, you could see it. Like, these dudes was active when it came to gunplay. As a result, They're doing time because of gunplay. They're doing time. Like, he had the hottest record in the country at one time. Mm-hmm. He's in prison because of the gunplay that he rapped about. Troy Ave, extra arrogant. I'm a drug dealer. I'm a dope boy from Brooklyn. Niggas ain't touching me, and if a nigga try, he's going in the ground. Period. And I'm not saying don't rap your truth. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not, because believe me, I'm all, this guy will tell you, I'm all about MCs rapping their truth. Whether that's you was at Burger King or you was a dealer on the hot blocks. Like, rap your truth. But all I'm saying is, a lot of times, like, be careful the energy that you choose to stress and put emphasis on, that you put out here in the world, because it has a funny way of coming back. Now with Tekashi, Gunmo was the one that took him out of here. You know, Gunmo, and I'll murder you, and I'll murder you, and as Bruce alluded to, even more than that, because even past, like I was saying with Smurda and Troy Ave, every time you heard this guy off the mic, we've yet to even discuss a Tekashi record. It's all been his antics off the microphone. And every time you heard him off the microphone, it was worse energy that you heard than you heard on the records. Like, it was a worse type of
disrespect,
negative energy that you heard off the record. So it was like, nah, fuck them niggas, you know, we not checking in nowhere, we not no suckers. Trey Way, we got the best protection in the world. Y'all know what it is. Bees up, this and that. Whatever. Like, again, like I said, like Bruce alluded to, you have to be careful that type of energy that you put into the world. I'm not gonna sit up here and preach to y'all about gangs and the problem that's going on inside the black community. I'm no preacher. I'm not here to stand on the soapbox, you know. But what I will tell you, it's not about what you do, but how you're doing it. There are a lot of people that took to whatever they took to in the streets because of circumstances or whatever, and did what they had to do and got up out of it. Just like Bruce alluded to, you know, if that's your situation, if those are your circumstances, make the most out of it. Take your family, make the most out of it. Execute. And this is what I think Tekashi, Troy Ave, and Smurda were trying to do. Again, it's how you go about these things. You can't provoke people and provoke violence, as Bruce said, and continue to poke the bear and not expect it to happen. And not expect, I don't care, because you want, like, the thing about it is, I think people get blindsided, because you're looking over here, and you say, yeah, I'm not scared of you niggas, and boom, it just hits you back in the back. You're not expecting it to come from over here. And this is why they say, before you cross the street, look, you gotta look both ways. Like, you gotta be careful. You got to be careful out here. Like,
this one's gonna go overtime too, man.
I'm sorry about that.
This one is important.
I told Bruce, I said, I actually feel sorry for the kid. Bruce, for what? And I might be the only one in the Met. For what? Like, what? Sorry for who? And I'm like, you know what? Because at the end of the day, it may, you know, I don't know. I have family that's still in New York. I actually have family that live in Brooklyn. You understand? Like, at the end of the day, he's a kid, man. I get it. I get it. He bought it on himself. Kids need to be responsible. He's at an age where he should know better. All of the above. I get it. But at the end of the day, man, and like Bruce was alluding to, you see, there was a time when older guys and OGs would steer you in the right direction and guide you in towards the right path.
They pushed this dude in front of traffic at every moment.
I feel sorry for the fact that, you know, there's older dudes around this guy, and there's OGs in his neighborhood that know better, or whatever the case. And you know, like I said, every man's responsible for his own action and words. But yeah, man, he's a kid, man. I you know, from that aspect and from that point of view, say what you want to say about D-Boy, whatever. I got a soft heart or whatever the case, or I'm not acknowledging the fact he bought it on himself, whatever. I acknowledge all of that, but at the end of the day, this guy's a kid, and I wish him the best, man. I really don't think he has any malice. I I don't think he's that. I think this guy is really the opposite of what people think what he's projecting. I think he's a safe kid. He just wants to have a regular life with his daughter or whatever. Due to his circumstances, surroundings, and background, he went a different path to try to, but I think, regardless of what, and then again, like Bruce was saying, I've seen the interview with him at Academics. He's back yelling about he's the king of New York. No, I'll be the first to say no. That's the wrong way. That's how all this came about in the first place. That's what breeded the jealousy and the envy from probably dudes around you. Like, no, that's not the route. Like, if I have to say anything for the day, like, no, like. No, that's the wrong. Don't start that path again. And then regardless, like, these dudes is hollering Treyway around you, whatever. Take the time, sit back, reevaluate what it is you doing for yourself and your daughter or whatever. Take that time, step outside the box, step outside the music, find out where you want to go with this thing. What are you trying to do? And please, live your truth, but be safe with it, my man. Be safe with it. Live the C25. You talk about XXX or whatever the case, be safe with it, my man. Don't end up like homeboy. If it takes you moving out of New York, moving out, because at the end of the day, let me tell you something. It doesn't make you any less gangster. These guys that tell you they rate and measure your gangster by this and that or how you respond. It doesn't make you any less of a man. Be a man. Take care of your daughter, man. And that's all I'm gonna say.
That's the wrap up. I will say one more thing in regard to how sorry I should feel for him. He is a kid. He's 22 years old. That's not really a kid, but he's also a father. Yeah, he should know better, but he also has OGs that's pushing him out into traffic at every moment. They want him to get in as most trouble as possible, because there's no way that the head of your set will allow you to go to LA and not check in, unless he's hoping that something happens, because that's just gonna make more money. That's just gonna sell the next record. You know that it was an inside job. He said it himself, and inside meaning someone that he knew closely. And instead of looking at the person behind you smiling with the Treyway, you're telling you to keep yelling Treyway. We won't have to go there, but yeah, I do feel a certain I do feel a certain sadness that he had to go, that anybody of 22 has to go through that. Any father has to go through that. I'm not going to feel sorry for you till you get back to Chicago and kiss the goddamn pavement and apologize to the gangsters that you've been talking all that crap about and give back the head that you got from somebody else's baby moms when you Instagrammed it and took it to the mall, and all the disrespect that you gave to my city, and you want me to feel sorry. I'm glad you're not dead. That's all I can say. Go back and kiss the pavement in Chicago. How about that? Go back and apologize to the gangsters who live that and have their friends die every day while you laugh at them and tell them suck your dick. They're not sorry for you, family. Grow up. We got no announcements for the day.
That's it, man. We got more shows on deck. It's gonna be lit all week, man. And we gonna touch
all week.
We touching on this 50 and Floyd Mayweather situation. We gonna get to that too, because I know y'all talking about that out there. We got the what Bruce preview. We got the most overrated,
we're supposed to do most overrated today
show coming. So we got y'all out there.
We probably gonna hit. Man, it's a lot of stuff. I don't know when, but we might not even get to most overrated, underrated this week.
We got y'all out there.
But we getting into it, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Keep tuning in. Keep pressing that subscribe button. Check in with Bruce for them beats too. He still got beats on deck. Early.
No disrespect to all the gangsters out there, man, but there's got to be a better way. Got to be a better way. Peace. That's the basement.